What is up, guys? It's Lanky Duelist, and today we're going to fight viruses with viruses. So yes, everyone, welcome back to another deck profile, and today I'm going to be profiling my virus deck itself. So yeah, as a kid, I've always been a big fan of Crush Card, especially that infamous scene from Kaiba where he flipped the Crush Card up on Yugi. I pretty much eradicated his entire deck, and ever since, I've always wanted to make a virus deck itself, but I just never knew, I didn't have the cards back then. I didn't know what deck to use the viruses with, but I finally figured out probably the best deck to use the viruses with, and that is pretty much with the Red Eyes itself. But unfortunately, I have to mention that I'm not using the current Red Eye support itself. I'm using the classic OG Red Eye support from back in Clash of Rebellions. However, if you do want to see an up-to-date, Red Eyes deck that could compete with maybe the meta itself, let me know down in the comment section. I could definitely, gather all the Red Eyes cards and pretty much put together a deck for you guys to see. But anyways, enough of me talking. Let's crack on with this deck profile itself. And we're going to start off with the viruses because that is pretty much the theme of the deck. We play 3 Full Force Virus, 3 Eradicator, and 1 Deck Devastation Virus itself. These cards are... well, mainly these two, Full Force and Eradicator, they are perfect at 2. Deck Devastation Virus, people don't really see this one coming, actually, because this pretty much, handles the hand traps themselves, because, normally they would think that you would activate one of these, but you flip this over and pretty much, wipe out all the low-level monsters. And interesting enough, actually, a lot of decks are playing, monsters below 1,500 attack, so that's why this card isn't really, much of a dead card in your hand, actually. This card, it can be a bit useful sometimes itself. But yeah, again, playing them at 2 because, it's nice, good, well, these 2 at 2 and this 1 at 1, because I feel like this is the perfect ratio itself, and you don't want to be, top decking or, bricking your hands with too many viruses itself. They all have their pros and cons itself, but Eradicator probably is the MVP out of the bunch because there are a lot of spell cards played in today's format, and Eradicator just, eliminates them, especially if you're going up against Sky Strikers back in the day, or even, what was that, deck? True Dracos itself. This card pretty much just cleared the deck out and pretty much made your opponent unable to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself. So yeah. Now going on to the monsters, like I said, we're playing the old school Red Eyes stuff. We're not playing any of the new stuff for now. But yeah, we play 3 Red Eyes Black Flare and the regular 3 Red Eyes itself. These are definitely needed for your fusion plays itself, and technically saying also as well, you can use them for rank 7 plays if you want to. If anything, actually, I've been thinking, if there's one new Red Eyes that I want to play in this deck, that is pretty much the alternative version itself, but I currently don't have it at the moment. I have just recently ordered it, especially, again, if you want me to see the, just a full Red Eyes deck itself, because it is a dragon deck itself, and I love my dragons. Again, let me know it down in the comment section below, and I could definitely bring you that deck in the future itself. So yeah, these are again needed for your fusion plays itself, and then if you want to go into any rank 7s, you could definitely go into rank 7s, because the rank 7s can definitely help to activate your viruses itself. So yeah, then we play 2 Blackstone. 2's perfect enough. 3's a bit overkill, especially again the aim of this deck is to get the viruses going, but then you want a nice good backup option just in case, and the stones can come in handy itself. But again, we only play 2, don't need to run 3. 3's again just a bit too cloggy itself. Then we play 1 Red Eyes, Darkness Metal. This might come out, in my opinion, because most of the time, he just doesn't really do anything. The only time this thing comes in real good handy is I send it off the, the Meteor Black Comet Dragon, and then I can reborn it back with, one of the Red Eyes traps itself. But other than that, I'm just gonna keep him now, but I feel like maybe in the future I might take him out, because again, he doesn't really do anything in this deck. And then for the fusion materials, we play 2 Meteor, Red Eyes Impact, and 1 Summon Skull. Now, the reason I play this over the Light Pulsar is because I do play Allure in this deck, and you need Allure to, draw into your combo pieces much quickly itself. And plus, Light Pulsar is a light, this is a dark, so yeah, I had to pretty much play 2 itself. And Summon Skull, again, if you want to go into the other fusion, I've forgotten the name of it, you have the option to, but, you don't really summon that fusion much, but if you want to go into it, Summon Skull allows you to have that option itself. And then, for the final monsters, we play Black Metal Dragon. This is a really nice card itself. I really wish we could play 6 copies of this card, but unfortunately we can only play 3 itself. It's very nice because basically a combo that you can do is just equip this to the Meteor Black Comet Dragon, and then when you virus the Comet Dragon away, you basically send this to the graveyard, and then you get a search. So then you have a follow-up play for your next turn, and you can do some serious damage to your opponent on the next turn itself. So you definitely have to play free. We want to see that card in our hand as quickly as possible. And then one Red Eyes Retro Dragon. It's a nice, good defensive card. Again, it's a lure target, so it's not really much of a bad card itself. But again, like, I'm in that zone where, you know, kind of like Red Eyes Darkness Melt. I might take this out, maybe itself. But again, you know, it's an allure target, and we want to, like, you know, get to our virus cards very, very quickly with the lure. So you don't mind, like, you know, banishing him off, because he's not going to be, you know, that much of an important card itself. Now, onto spells, we play 3 Red Eyes Insight. Of course, we have to play this card because it searches out the main card that pretty much activates your virus cards itself. Absolutely amazing card, and yeah, it'll be a sad day that either this or Red Eyes Fusion gets banned because of our new fusion card that's coming out in the tins very, very soon. And again, I'm going to be very sad this deck is going to get, you know, hit in a way, because, like, again, I just, like, thought of this idea, like, you know, just a month ago itself. So it's kind of one of my proudest achievements and inventions, but now it's like, you know, it's going to go down the drain because of that new fusion, which, again, I actually don't like that fusion because it's pretty much going to nerf the one card that makes this deck playable itself. So definitely, again, we have to play through this because it searches out your main go-to card, which is Red Eyes Fusion itself. This card is absolutely amazing. Like, this card pretty much turns on all your viruses, because being able to fusion summon and get out that Meteor Black Comet Dragon is, again, absolutely fantastic itself. And I really do need to change these commons to some fusions. If anything, I need to update this whole deck and make it a bit more high rarity itself, because I will admit, playing this deck in low rarity does, you know, kind of suck in a way. But anyways, yeah, play 3 Red Eyes Fusion. Again, that turns on your viruses mainly. And then we play 2 Return of the Dragon Lords. Again, you kind of need a bit of a follow-up play, and this is where Return of the Dragon Lords comes in. Because, like, if, say, you're in a top deck situation, you could top deck this and basically bring back your Meteor Comet Dragon, because it technically is level A, which I found absolutely hilarious when I actually picked up this deck and I realized that, wait a minute, I can actually bring him back. He's level A, which I kind of find so interesting, because the other fusion, if I can go get him right now, Archbeam Black Skull Lightning, like, he's a level 9, which is, again, a really, like, odd, and, like, most people play Meteor over him, and, like, the fact that you could just bring him back with Return of the Dragon Lords is, again, absolutely fantastic itself. And then also Return has, like, you know, a great effect, like, you know, you can just banish it from the grave to protect your dragon monsters itself, so then your opponent can't, you know, OTK you itself. So yeah, very interesting. And then for the spells, we play 2 Pot of Desires and 2 Allures. This is what I mean. I need to bump these up to 3, 100% itself. Especially Allure has to go to 3, because, like, I need to draw into my viruses a bit more quickly, and that's where, you know, the Allure of Darkness comes in. And Pot of Desires, again, I've mentioned so many times, Pot of Desires is such a fantastic card. Like, if your deck can run it for sure, because, you know, it gives you that +1, and for me, it gets rid of a lot of, like, bricky cards that I don't want to be top decking, like, later on in the game itself. So yeah, we play 2-2 for now, because so far it works, but I think I definitely need to bump the Allure back up to 3, so that, you know, again, I can draw into my viruses much, much quicker. And another card, again, that I've mentioned so many times, Called by the Grave. Like, you have to run this, especially against, like, hand traps. You don't want your opponent Ash Blossoming your Red Eyes Fusion, because then that's pretty much your play over and done with itself. So that's why it's important to have this in your hand, and to get this into your hand as quickly as you can, so you can stop your opponent from going off with the Ash Blossom plays itself. And then for the traps, we play 2 Red Eyes Fangwood Chain, and then the 2 Reborns in the deck itself. Fangwood Chain is another good stun card, so if you don't open up with your viruses, this is a nice, good alternative to have. And plus, it's searchable off the Red Eyes Insight. Same with the traps as well. It provides a bit of defense and kind of gets your plays going later on in the game itself. So yeah. Alright, on to extra deck itself. And to be honest, I don't play 15 card extra deck itself, because all you pretty much need is just 2 of him. That's all you need for this deck, pretty much. Like, because this card is so fantastic, because pretty much it turns all your viruses on, because he's 3,500. And secondly, and this is what I love about him, like, when he's sent to the graveyard, you could basically bring back a monster from the graveyard itself, which is absolutely amazing. So say you have 2 viruses, like, this card pretty much can, like, combo into, like, 2 of your viruses. So you could just send him off to activate Eradicator. He brings back a regular Red Eyes from the graveyard, and then you flip over Full Force, send that Red Eyes to the graveyard, and then you pretty much, like, you know, take all the spell cards out of your opponent's hand, all the monsters out of your hand if you can, possibly. That's what I mean. This card is just absolutely phenomenal, this thing. If anything, I might be tempted to bump him up to 3 itself. But yeah, absolutely amazing. 3,500, and as I mentioned earlier, you could bring him back with Return of the Dragon Lord, which I find absolutely, in a sense, stupid. The fact that you can actually do that. When Archfiend Black Skull Lightning, yeah, he's just, again, you know, he's an option. Like, again, you don't need to run that many cards in this extra deck, but, you know, I just threw him in because not only is his artwork absolutely amazing, but, you know, he's got an amazing effect as well, and if you can get him off, yeah, go ahead, 100% sure, because, you know, sometimes he can actually win you games. And then we play a few rank 7s, we play 2 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, yeah, pretty much don't need to explain this again. You know, it's a nice good backup option if you want to, and also, you know, it turns on your viruses and helps to turn your viruses on itself, so yeah. And then finally, we play the Trinity. Well, my favorite rank 7 Trinity that I used to love playing back in the day. That is Master of Blades, Dracosac, and Gross Augen. And because Gross Augen is pretty much another one of your win conditions itself. But yeah, actually, you have to play these cards at 3. Especially if you're playing rank 7s. Like, you know, these cards just, you know, they're staples in any rank 7 deck you play itself. So yeah, that is my, well, you can call it Red Eyes Virus deck itself. Again, let me know down in the comment section what you thought of this deck, because I'll admit, I love having this card. Like, everyone's got to have a trolley deck once in a while, and pretty much, this is pretty much my trolley deck itself, because I just like seeing my opponent's eye when I flip these viruses over, and I just take things out of their hand, because their reaction is just too funny itself. And then also as well, like I mentioned, you know, I can run dragons, and I love my dragons a lot, so it's like, you know, 2 and 2. Into 1 just works. Kind of like my red dragons. Like, my favorite color is red. I love dragons. Nick 2 together. Yeah. Same with this deck itself. And again, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and again, mention in the comment section if you want to see like a full-on Red Eyes deck. I could definitely be bringing you that very, very soon. And also, I wanted to give an update on my Heraldic deck profile. I was hoping to deck profile it this week. However, there's been a problem in the post because there's one card that I need for the deck, which is basically Ash Blossoms. Finally, I actually have that. Well, I'm going to get that card. However, for some odd reason, it's nearly been like a week overdue, which I find a bit fishy itself, considering I got it from eBay. So again, I'm hopefully I should try and get everything sorted so that, you know, I can get the Ash Blossom so I can do that Heraldic deck profile, because I have promised it like 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I haven't really fulfilled my promise itself, and I need to get that profile out as soon as I can. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this replacement for the Heraldic deck profile. Again, I love this deck a lot, and yeah, make sure to have a good day and stay safe as well during these dark times itself. And again, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.